All right, so let's talk about this topic right here. There's a letter. The title is "Wife Cheated." Right. Let me share my screen really quickly. Let's get into this. All right, great. All right, so I found out my wife was cheating on me for at least 4 months. I messaged her siblings and they helped pack her stuff and move her back across the country so we can begin the process of legal separation, which is required for at least a year before filing for divorce in my state. What state is that? If you know what state that is, please leave that in the comment area. How do I even begin to move on? We were together for 6 years and married for only one, but as far as I can tell, she was actually dating this guy for most of our marriage. Ouch. That must hurt. How do I begin to heal the ability to trust another person in my life? I could really use some advice. All right, so first of all, let me just say this. Do me a favor. I want you to leave your own advice in the comment area. I want to see what your thoughts are about this. But let me just go through this and let's talk about it, right? All right, let's see. All right, let's go back to this. So I found out my wife was cheating on me for at least 4 months. At least 4 months. Yeah, it's crazy. I messaged our siblings and they helped pack her stuff and move her back across the country so we can begin the process of legal separation. So again, who decided? I would like to know who decided the legal separation. Because if you're still writing this kind of letter, I'm forced to ask, who decided that you want to separate? It sounds like you were rejected. It sounds like he was ready to go. I messaged our siblings. I don't know. There may be some cultures where you're supposed to do that. So, but he's saying that this is required for at least a year. So, in some states, apparently, you're required to be separated for at least a year before you can file divorce. Please, if you know what state that is, please share it in the comments. I want to know what state that is. How do I even begin to move on? It's very difficult, okay? But it can start with working on yourself. What does working on yourself mean, right? You need to identify your purpose and start aligning with it, right? Not to say you're not already engaged in your purpose, but if you go through this kind of experience, you're instantly disengaged from your purpose because, again, it's terrible for anyone to go through this, right? So you're instantly disengaged from that, and that's actually worse, okay? Your purpose, your life mission, you must re-engage them, okay? They're usually stuff that you would love to do and get paid for, but even if you didn't get paid for it, you will enjoy doing it regardless, right? It could be charity work, it could be some kind of calling, something like that, something to keep you busy, right? But you need to engage it. You need to surround yourself with some good friends. You need to have one or two people that you can confide in, right? You want to be careful with that because sometimes you confide in one person, they act like good friends, it's going to spread, and it's spreading is not necessarily bad, except that if you now heard that your issues are spreading, it can make you feel even a lower sense of confidence, and that's going to make things even worse. What you really need at this point in time is to make sure that you're maintaining your self-esteem, because again, this is rejection, right? And these are sizable books. They're minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author. Those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. Rejection breeds obsession. It just gets worse and worse, and you start to feel like you're not worthy for obvious reasons, right? Like you just had a person that you engaged with for a lifetime journey, and they disengaged without consulting you or without putting your feelings in consideration, or maybe they did, but they've basically resorted to say, hey, I can't do it no more. That will always feel like rejection, and it's a terrible feeling, right? So how do you move on? Again, re-engage your personal purpose and life mission, whatever that is. If you don't know what that is, it's even worse. So you need to seek good counsel, a good wise counsel, and engage and have this conversation at a deeper level, so they can help you engage, right? See, at the end of the day, everything comes down to values. It comes down to pain and pleasure. We only make changes in our lives when it's attached to some type of pain or attached to some type of pleasure. We gravitate away from pain and we gravitate towards pleasure or some form of relief, right? That's all of us, right? So if you want to move on, this is an emotional issue. You're probably feeling stuck right now. You feel like you can't, like you feel a lot of anxiety, panic attacks. You're afraid of the future. What is that going to look like? And in this case, to some people, it may be obvious. They may say, hey, future is beautiful. Just let's pick it up and let's keep moving. Make sure you heal. That's actually true, but it's easier said than done. If you don't start to identify the value, like explicitly, expressly state them out of moving on, you may find yourself stuck. So what's the benefit of moving on? Why exactly do you want to move on? You want to spell these things out. You want to spell them out, especially as a man, because we're not used to having to get in this kind of emotional place. We don't know how to handle it. For some weird reason, women are kind of like socialized to be able to handle this kind of stuff. For men, it's just very, very difficult, right? So how you're going to move on is to identify those values. Re-engage with your personal purpose and life mission. It's easier said than done. You can do it yourself. You can start by reading books, right? My wife and I have this book right here. You can get it at getmymarriageback.com, right? It's not necessarily mean you're going to get your marriage back. It's going to increase chances of getting your marriage back. But more importantly, you're going to go through this process with full-blown healing so you don't miss out on life. Because if you don't heal and you go to the other side and you find yourself in a space where you're just angry at women, you're going to self-destruct. Life is not set up that way. So you want to make sure that you heal properly as you're going through this process. Again, you can seek wise counsel. They're very, very affordable these days. Engage one and you will be fine. In fact, better. Okay, so I'm glad that you identified that it's time to move on. How do you move on? You need to identify the value on the other side, spell them out, paste them in a place where you can see them over and over, and put all your energy into that. Not only are you going to be able to move on, if by any chances you're interested in attracting that person back to you, you would dramatically increase the chances of doing that, because confidence is just sexy. It is, right? It's sexy, and that's the best thing you can do for yourself in this kind of space. Have some self-respect, build some self-confidence. How do you do that? You focus on self-improvement, self-development.